بیننده عزیز، امیدوار هستم هر کجایی که هستین جور صحتمند باشین و رمضانتان بخیر سپری شود. امروز در ادامه برنامه سیر سفر به شهرهای امریکا خواستم به یکی از موزیم‌های بزرگ در دنیا که موزیم فلایت در شهر سیاتل است. امروز من اینجا بیایم و به شما یک ویدیوی تفریحی آماده بسازم تا شما هم لذت ببرین و هم اطلاعات خوبه در رابطه با یک مکان جدید داشته باشین که انشالله بعد از این ثبت برنامه ها را با تیم کاری مورد میدیا آغاز کردیم. کوشش میکنیم تا حد توان برنامه های مفید به جامعه و به جوانای ما ارائه بکنیم. در این عرصه حمایت شما دوستا لازم است، پس تا آخر برنامه با ما همراه باشین. ما در ادامه برنامه مصاحبه را با دوستا داشتیم و اینجا هم یک دو دوست ما که از ونکوور کانادا امروز برای سیاحت یا تفریح اینجا آمده بودن و موزیم فلایت در شهر سیاتل اینا بازدید کردن و کوتاه صحبتایشون هم می داشته باشیم که اینا چگونه از اینجا لذت بردن و مسیجشون رو برای شما می داشته باشیم که این برنامه باشیم. How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, we are doing good.
Where are you from, brother?
So we are from Canada, Vancouver.
Vancouver. You
Yes.
come for travel here?
Yeah, 3 days visit to Seattle.
3 days.
Yes.
And your name?
My name is Hitesh. That's my wife Neha.
And she's your wife?
Yeah.
Nice. You coming here to museum? How do you like this
Hi.
museum? It's very nice. Too much aeroplane.
Yes.
Like very older, you know.
Yeah.
All from Boeing company, different. I talk with employee. The staff is say too much information. But what do you look like here in Seattle, especially Seattle, and after this
Right.
museum?
So first day of our Seattle visit, we went to Space Needle. Yeah, and there is another point of attraction that is Chihuly Glass Garden.
Nice.
So we covered that, and this is our last day in Seattle. So we thought of visiting the Flight of Museum. So here we saw like most of the aircrafts which are from World War I and World War II,
Nice.
and the history of the aircraft.
You take history like picture, video.
Yeah, we have taken lots of pictures, and yeah, videos, lots of videos.
So nice. What about you?
Yeah, so I had a really good time here too. It was my first time visiting a museum of flight, and yeah,
First time in Seattle?
Yeah.
yeah, you can say like I've been here before, but like I never visited this place, like the museum. So
So
first
you
time
like
here.
Seattle all the time, weather same like this.
Yeah, the
Something.
weather is so similar to Vancouver. Actually, it's raining and it's
Vancouver same like this?
same. Yeah,
It's good, not bad.
yeah, it's good.
So thank you for your time.
Thank you,
If
Thank
Malik.
you have some good message for my people, special like Afghani people,
Sure.
like young people, all have a good dream, you know, target in life.
Sure.
Say something.
Hello to all Afghan people. So we saw Murid like taking videos in the museum, and really appreciate his efforts. So please follow him. He's really doing great job. So he's really taking efforts and making all the videos in details for you all guys. Message from our side is so hello from Indians.
Yeah.
Just be focused on your career, do study well, dream big, and yeah, that's all. Stay happy.
Yeah. So hi to Afghani people. As a woman, I would like to say that being a woman, I know how hard it can be, difficult situations. But be strong, be brave. There is a world out there which supports women, and there are a lot of opportunities in abroad where you can work anywhere in any industry. Yeah, just stay confident and open to learn, and you'll be good.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
thank you so much.
بیننده عزیز، در ادامه برنامه ما تصاویر و عکسایی که از اینجا میخواستیم گرفتیم و با یکی از استافا که اینجا مسئولیت دارن و وظیفهشون اینجا است اینا کار میکنن خواستیم صحبت بکنیم و کم ذره اطلاعات یا انفورمیشن در رابطه با این موزیم به شکل کلی. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent. You made a good point. A lot of people call this the Boeing Museum.
Yes.
It is not owned by Boeing.
Yeah.
The reason they call it Boeing Museum is because we're on Boeing Field, which technically is not Boeing Field either. It's King County International Airport.
Nice.
Boeing had a factory across the street,
Yeah,
And because
Boeing.
they do so much test flying here, everybody calls it
Yeah.
Boeing Field, including the FAA. But Boeing is very good to us. They give us a lot of airplanes.
One
They
of
put
the
tires
biggest
on
company
airplanes.
here, yeah.
Yeah.
Boeing, like longest story in flight, you know.
Boeing started, the plane that the camera is not showing is the B&W up above. They started building airplanes in 1916,
1960 is the first one.
the first one. And that one is a reproduction of the 1916 airplane. They built it in 1966 for the 50-year anniversary of Boeing.
Nice.
In doing that, they flew it all over the place. They flew it all the way across the country. They flew it around our hydroplane races, with the Blue Angels. They flew it everywhere. Then, in 1919, Bill Boeing and his mechanic, Eddie Hubbard, flew a Boeing airplane to Canada, picked up a sack of mail, and made the first international mail flight back to Seattle. First time there was an international mail flight.
In USA.
I don't know if it was worldwide or definitely
But in
the first
Washington.
one between the United States and Canada.
Okay.
So 50 years after that was 1969. So they not only flew it around in 1966, in 1969 they flew it to Canada and got another sack of mail and flew it back to the United States to commemorate 50 years of international mail service. Then they hung it up from the ceiling.
That's all positive point about Boeing, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's the first Boeing airplane, and they evolved into the plane behind us. Was the first airplane made by anybody that went into a scheduled airlines.
And what about this big one?
The big one
Air
was
Force?
designed for, it says Air Force on it. The Americans lie a lot. It is not an Air Force plane. The Air Force knew nothing about it. It was built by Lockheed. It was a government deal to spy on other countries. They wrote Air Force on it because if you get shot down and you're military, you are taken as a military prisoner. If you are a CIA spy, you can be killed.
Yeah.
So it was flown by spy pilots, and it said Air Force.
It looked like dangerous.
Yes, but it really, later on, after several years, people found out about it, including military and governments, and they found out about that. And it became common knowledge. But up until that, this version of the plane, called an A-12, was very, very top secret. Very few people knew about it.
Very top level, yeah?
Yes.
Nice.
One of these planes landed, emergency landing, at an Air Force base in Utah.
Utah?
They took all the cameras away from everybody on the base because they knew somebody had taken a photograph. And they didn't want anybody in the Air Force knowing about it, so they took everybody's camera away. So it was definitely top secret.
Special.
Yeah.
Specialist. What about the private small airplane? Too much small airplane here, different company maybe, yeah?
Well, there's a lot of companies here. We got a little two-tone blue one up there that was made by a company called Heath. You could buy any part you wanted for the airplane in a catalog.
Nice.
You could buy the wheels, the next month you could buy the wings. You could
It's
buy parts of
private,
it.
I can work in the home, garage,
Yeah, buy a kit. You could build it as you got the money. Pretty soon you owned your own airplane. It would cost you about $700 to get enough parts to build your own airplane. And they were a pretty good little airplane. And that was about 1934, 1935. There's an orange one behind it. There's a real ugly plane. And it's made by a company called Aronca. It was a very cult airplane. There's a lot of people that own them. I don't like it, but there's a lot of people that do. Just like there's a lot of people that like a Volkswagen bus.
Yeah.
I find a Volkswagen bus kind of worthless, but a lot of people think
You
they're neat.
don't like.
So if you go to an air fly-in in several places around the country, you might find 5 or 6 or 7 of these Aroncas that people fly in.
Same like this.
Yes,
Same.
yeah, the people like them because they're fun to fly, I guess. Now, it was called the flying bathtub. That is because it's nice and roomy when you sit in there. There's high walls. It's like getting in a bathtub. There was an option. When you bought the airplane, you could pay $5 extra. $5 for this option.
It's cheaper.
Do you know what this option would be?
What?
Brakes.
Brakes?
Brakes. All of the airplanes of that era, when they landed, there was a lot of planes crashing because they landed and they kept on rolling until the trees. They hit the bushes or the trees.
Yeah.
Or a ditch.
You need to
flipped
brake.
over.
Yeah, sure.
So with this, for $5, you got brakes. Okay, now that you've got brakes and you're coming to pick up your new airplane, you get the airplane and you get a set of gloves.
Yeah.
And when you land, you can reach out and hold tight to those tires.
Maybe you need training, yeah?
That's the brakes. They give you a good set of gloves so that it doesn't burn your fingers.
Nice.
That's what you get for $5. Okay?
Okay, nice, sir. All information good about this museum. So tell me about how long you work here and about your nice story from people, you know. People come here,
Well,
all people have a like good smile, some people like good personality,
okay.
talk to you,
I
do
have worked
something.
here for 10 years.
10 years?
The reason I'm here, one, I like airplanes. And I like talking to people. I can come here on any given day and I can talk to people from 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 different countries. Or people that live in Oregon or Canada or on the other side of the United States. Sometimes I talk to people that I'm having trouble understanding.
Yeah.
Sometimes I start conversations with people and I talk to them for half a minute and realize they don't understand a word I'm
They're
saying
not good
because
English.
they're from France or Spain
Yeah.
or who knows.
Nice.
But I like talking to the people and especially the young kids.
So before Afghani people coming here, so you talk with him, experience with Afghani people, Afghanistan.
I have friends from the Middle East. Once in a while I fly with them.
Afghanistan?
I've got a little airplane and I fly with a lot of people. One guy I know, he is from India. His wife is from Pakistan.
Close to my country.
Another guy I used to fly with on a regular basis is from Afghanistan.
No
My
problem.
son was in the military. He spent a year living in Turkey, and he spent another 6 months in Uzbekistan. I don't know how close those
Yeah,
are.
it's near, close.
But those areas, yeah.
Washington, California.
We have,
Same.
you know, it's kind of odd that
No problem.
sometimes it seems like we have a lot of people here from South America. The next day, there might be a lot of people from India. The next day, we've got a lot of people from, Israel, Jordan, Egypt, that part.
Nepal, different, China.
Just,
yeah.
So it's
Specialist
kind
in
of odd
Seattle,
the
too
way
much.
that stuff happens. But I like talking to people from all over.
Thank you. You have good personality, kindly, friendly, you know.
Okay, I
and
hope.
this information, it's very positive point for my Afghani refugee. So he come here, he can pass the time with family coming here, take information. Information is good for life, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, before in my
absolutely.
country I don't see like this airplane, but here I can come, I can see, I can take video, show for my people.
Well, I'm the guy. You're never going to see me say, "Well, I would rather talk to the Americans." That's not me. I like talking to everybody.
Everybody,
If you were here,
Yeah.
it's because you like airplanes,
yeah,
and so do I.
yeah, sure,
So I
so-
hope this interview helps
for sure.
you and whoever's watching.
for sure. So بیننده‌های عزیز اینا میگن که امیدوار هستم یه انفورمیشن یا اطلاعات ما بر شما مفید واقع شد. Do you have some special message for young people like same like me? So you have target in life, help family, here study, you know, training, gym, boxing.
I have a
different
message,
target.
yes. I
A
have
special
a
message for Afghani people.
I do. Particularly the girls.
Because
I think the girls can do anything the boys can do. I would like to see some of the most brilliant people I know are girls. They've got wonderful ideas. They look at things a little bit different than us because they are a little bit different than us.
yeah, thank you so much for your time. I
Okay.
appreciate it, sir.
Everybody, I don't care what gender you are, go for your dreams. If you know somebody who's interested in airplanes, but they don't know how, see if you can find out and give them a steer, a little bit of a steer to help them find the right place to learn more. It's all about learning.
Just keep going and learn
Keep
more.
learning, keep learning. And if you're interested in airplanes, if there is a possibility of finding somebody who can give you a ride in an airplane, it's life-changing. It's different. It's being, mankind has tried to get off the ground for thousands of years. And if you have the opportunity to get up in the air, it changes the way you think about things.
For sure.
I thought that way. I started flying airplanes.
And you have good experience from life.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
We are young, we don't
I've-
see nothing.
Right. I've lived in a lot of different places. I did terrible in school. I did good flying airplanes.
Which faculty do you graduated?
I jumped out of airplanes for several years
7
before I
years.
decided to stay in them. And jumping out of airplanes is fun.
Nice. Nice talking, sir. And good story for me, this museum and this
Okay.
video. فکر کنم مربوط بوینگ هستیم. تقریبا بسیار قدیمی. اطلاعاتش هست. دروبن سیوان. دوستان این قسم نیست دیگه که ما بالای هر کدامش استاد شما ما اطلاعاتش بر شما یکی یکی بگویم. طیاره ها همگیش قدیمی است. طیاره جتای جنگی است. طیاره تفریحی است و نیام مسافر. نشانی کدگی است و همو مخففایی که خودشان دارن خب کوتاه در رابطه با این طیاره چرخبال که اینجا هست براتون میگم. دوستایی را ما خیلی اوقات فکر کنم در افغانستان دیده بودیم، در آسمان افغانستان میچرخید و یکی از طیاره‌های نظامی آرمی و جنگی است که فکر کنم در کشورهای مختلفی استفاده شده و در سالهای 1975 که اینجا نوشته بود، در سالهای 1975 آخرین فلایتش بوده و بعد از او آورده شده به موزیم و اینجا مردم میان و از تماشایش لذت میبرن. یکی از طیاره‌های قدیمی و جنگی که من خودم شخصا در تمام طیاره که اینجا بود خوشم آمد. بسیار جالب است. سیستمش آنالوگ است، دیجیتال نیست، سیستم آنالوگ است، بسیار قدیم است. دیگه سیتایشون بسیار سیتای عادی که فقط از فلز کار گرفته شده و یک دو تا تکه که کار گرفته شده و یک تفنگی که اینجا نصب است. دیگه تمامش یکی از آینای بسیار محکم که مخففش چیست. طیاره جالب که از موتر ساخته شده است و بالایش جمع میشه. دوستان قسمت ما دیدم چپ از این فلزایی که در این کار گرفته شده دیگه مکمل پلاستیک است. طرف تزیره که می‌بینیم مصالح پلاستیک است. خب دوستان قسمت که تصویر برداری برای شما داشتم در ادامه از این برنامه یکی از طیاره‌های زیبایی که از US اینجا استاده است مردم داخلش میرن و میبینن که از چه امکانات در اون زمان برخوردار بودن. ما هم داخلش میریم و برای شما تصویر می داشته باشیم ببینیم که چگونه است. که میبینین این خیلی از امو طیاره‌های قدیمی است که خیلی هم قدیمی گفتن نمیتونم چون سیستمش نسبتا مدرن است و امو امکانات که در طیاره‌های مثلا فعلی آلاسکا و ساوت و چند کمپانی دیگه میشه دید. اینجا هم امو امکانات هست. هی دیگه نمیرسیم باشه جون امیدی نکتایی از یه آجی رسایی که تده جان نکتایی زن